everybody? Welcome in to another episode of the NFL Seekers podcast. Today, it's the annual NFL Seekers Award show. We're each going to be kind of predicting the NFL awards slash saying who we think should win the awards. We're not going to just go with the chalk, just go with the betting on favorites to win the awards. We're going to give who we think should win the awards that aren't really being talked about, players that are kind of just going under the radar this season that deserve the love. Excited for this episode. Probably good discussion and arguments in this one. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is our second time recording this. Dan accidentally did not record the pod earlier.
We move on.
We move on. Hey, it's getting into the late night deep discussion pods. It's fantastic. We're on episode 93. I'm excited. I'll do this pod 15 times in a row. I don't care. But yeah, no, we're gonna be talking, about the guys who we think are kind of our guys on who we think should win these awards. Underrated people who are kind of falling behind, who we need to give a shout out to. And ultimately, there's a consensus in the NFL, and we kind of know who are gonna win these awards, but we want to give our guys and give them a shout out.
Yeah, we'll talk about like the betting favorites and who we think will win the award, but we really want to just highlight who we think should win the award mostly, and who we kind of want to win the award. So yeah, with that, let's get into the coaching award. Kevin Stefanski for the Browns is the favorite to win Coach of the Year. Who do you think should win it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get right into it. It's gonna be my guy, D'Amico Ryans. He is the ultimate deserving guy of this award. He just is a football guy, and he's everything that I think is great about coaching in the NFL. D'Amico Ryans in his first year as a head coach takes a 3-13-1 Houston Texans team to a 10-7 divisional, round of the playoffs and wins it. Excuse me, sorry. 3-13-1 team to a 10-7 team that wins their division, that goes into the divisional round of the playoffs, wins a game with a rookie quarterback. And also, I want to point out, D'Amico Ryans is one of the best roster. He built one of the best rosters in one season. He built one of the best coaching staffs in one season. He brings in guys like Denzel Perryman, Desmond King, Jonathan Grenard. All these underrated guys, and just formed an incredible team. And bringing in an offensive coordinator like, sorry, it's getting late. My mind just completely
Slow.
blank. Yes, Bobby Slowick. Just all around what he did as a team builder, as a coaching staff builder. It was brilliant. And this guy, I can't say enough good things about him. He's a hell of a coach.
Yeah, going into that kind of rookie filled team and just young roster and then just leading him to the playoffs and just being as good of a leader as he was, he absolutely deserves this shout. He is the second highest betting favorite for this, and deservedly so. He's just done a fantastic job, great defensive mind, really elevated that team. And I'm going to go with the kind of a similar thinking for my pick. I'm going to go Sean McVay for the Rams for my coach of the year. Another guy who just really elevated his roster, kind of relevant, relative to talent. He really, the Rams were kind of expected to end with like a top three pick at the end of the year. They really weren't expected to be this good, and that roster was really rough. Like you said, we were kind of laughing at it going into the season, and the deep dives. We were literally just laughing at the roster, and Sean McVay did a great job. He had him in the thick of things in the NFC, competing till the end of the game with the Lions in the playoffs, and I just think he's done a fantastic job with kind of a lesser young roster. I think they had like 26 rookies on their preseason roster. So just a fantastic job from McVay. And what do you think about it?
Yeah, no, this is my second pick for coach of the year. There's just some guys that just elevate their team. Even when they don't have a good roster, they elevate every single player on this team. And Sean McVay, what he was able to do, they had like 13 draft picks, but they were like from round four on. And what they were able to find and do in this draft class, and what he was able to coach and produce, is just on another tier. Sean McVay is another tier of coach. He is a guy that is just cut from a different tree, man. He is brilliant. His mind works in a different way, and it just outthinks everyone. So yeah, Sean McVay, definitely one of these dudes that's going to be around for a long, long time. it's just brilliant what he was able to do with a roster that we literally laughed at in the preseason.
Yeah, kind of the theme with Sean McVay and D'Amico Ryans. They both just elevated a lot, and I think they did the best job of elevating relative to roster talent. So yeah, good discussion with the coaches, and let's get on to the offensive rookie of the year. It's an interesting discussion because we both have a guy named CJ Stroud winning a different award, and we don't want anyone winning two awards. So we will talk about Stroud later, and don't worry, it's going to be a good discussion. But we want to give Puka Nacua his flowers. He should be offensive rookie of the year in any normal season, you know, breaking every single rookie record, all of Randy Moss's and Justin Jefferson's records. And there's legendary stuff. He had 105 catches, 1,486 yards, 6 touchdowns. He won everyone fantasy football leagues if you drafted him. And he just came onto the, came into the NFL just on fire. Literally week one, he set the league on storm and didn't slow down. So inspirational stuff from Puka Nacua, honestly, as a 5th-round pick out of BYU. No one expected this at all, but he was truly one of the best receivers in the NFL, and it was fun to watch, and he's going to be here to stay.
Yeah. The 177th pick in the 2023 draft, just, he proved everyone wrong. And it, like you said, it was from game one when he broke the reception record and in game number one for the most catches by a rookie in the first game ever. I mean, he came into this league with with a vengeance and a chip on his shoulder, and he was incredible. I mean, he broke Jamar Chase, he broke Justin Jefferson, he broke Randy Moss. I mean, these are great guys. These are two of the best receivers in the NFL, one of the best receivers of all time. He broke these records, and it was with ease, with an all pro wide receiver, taking targets from him when he came back midseason in Cooper Kupp. And yeah, Puka Nacua, an undersized guy, just, I mean, everything was against Puka Nacua, and he proved everyone wrong. I mean, the story is just fantastic, and he just had too good of a season to not put him here. I mean, he's just too good to not be talked about. He outperformed Cooper Kupp. He was their wide receiver one by the end of the year, and it's just he's too deserving of this reward.
Absolutely. You have to shout him out at the very least because he's probably not going to win it because CJ Stroud's probably going to win this award in real life. And with that, let's hear your defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, so here's my first controversial one. I know is gonna get people a little riled up, but I'm gonna give you some reasons. It's gonna be Chargers edge Tuli Tuipulotu. I don't think there is a guy that's been more underrated than Tuli Tuipulotu this season. And I'm gonna tell you why. I mean, Tutu Pelotu, compared to Will Anderson, who probably will end up winning this award, had more tackles, more sacks, more forced fumbles, more stops, more hits than Will Anderson. He also had an 89.9 run grade. He's one of the most underrated edge defenders in the entire NFL. When he sets the edge with a presence. He was 20 years old this entire season. I mean, and you hear about Khalil Mack's 17 sack season. I mean, Tuli Pelotu was double teamed on 85% of true pass rushing sets. So I mean, he was doing the dirty work while the other guys were eating. And I can't say enough good things about this guy. He's not a household name. He wasn't a second overall pick, but he is damn good, and he's damn deserving of this reward.
Yeah, I really like you shouting out your guy Tuli. I loved his kind of flexibility when you move him in the inside. It seems like he's kind of overpowered and just too quick for those interior rushers. So the Chargers definitely got them a gem, an absolute steal in that second round out of USC, and he's going to be fun, a fun flexible piece on that defensive line, kind of a Swiss Army knife to move around for a long time. So yeah, great steal of a pick for the Chargers. And I'll go on to my defensive rookie of the year, kind of similar thinking, a guy that isn't really being talked about as much. Probably won't win the award, but I do think Devon Witherspoon definitely deserves a shout. He's just a dog. He's just a dog. He's up in your face. He's a great run defender. He had an 80 run defense grade on PFF. He had a 90 pass rush grade. He's just a playmaker at the line of scrimmage. He had an 80 coverage grade as well. He's just a really solid player. I think Mike McDonald coming in as well this year is gonna boost him into like a top 5 corner conversation and just a bona fide superstar. So I think I wanted to shout out Devon Witherspoon here just to put his name out here, and I think he deserves. I think he was the pound for pound like best defensive rookie of the year, and yeah, I just wanted to talk about him because he's so fun. I think I had the most fun watching this guy of anyone.
Yeah, Devon Witherspoon is a dog, man. And I think teams learned real early to not throw his way. He was immediately the best corner on his team. He took that from Tariq Woolen, who was an incredible corner last year, who honestly could have won this award. But yeah, Devon Witherspoon is a different kind of athlete. He's getting your face, he's off coverage. I mean, he can kind of do anything from one of the hardest positions in football, if not the hardest. And yeah, he's like, going out there and playing, even to be mentioned in this award and playing that good as a rookie corner is just incredible. I mean, you got to be so smart, you got to be so witty. You got to be on top of everything. And yeah, Devon Witherspoon and the season he had, no one wanted to throw at him. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he had 3 sacks as well from the corner position. So he's got very, very good flexibility from blitzing off the edge and timing that. So I love Devon Witherspoon. I love that you're giving him a shout out here.
Beautiful. Yeah. And like you said, corner is like the hardest position to play in the NFL. It's my favorite position to watch. So another reason I just wanted to shout out Witherspoon. I think he's truly one of the best corners in the NFL when healthy. And I'm really excited to see him with Mike McDonald. And I'm buying all the Devon Witherspoon stock in the world that I can. And I do want to shout out Jalen Carter. Kind of sucks that we didn't mention him. He definitely deserves a shout. He had like a 90 PFF grade, and he was just super consistent all year. So shout out to Jalen Carter as well. He could win this award, but Will Anderson's very deserving as well. He was very impactful. And with that, let's hear your offensive player of the year.
Yeah, my offensive player of the year is just too easy in my opinion. It's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is just anytime he steps on the field, he is the most electric player on the entire field. You cannot take Tyreek Hill's speed for granted. I mean, this guy had 119 receptions for 1,799 yards and 13 touchdowns. It was just a different kind of level and a different kind of showing from Tyreek Hill. He seems to get better and faster by the year. It just doesn't make any sense. And when he's on the field at any given moment against anyone, he is the best player on the field. I mean, he is the most dynamic, he is the most lethal. He is, put you to sleep kind of guy. I mean, you cannot put this guy one on one. He will beat you every single time. Hell, even if you have a safety over top, like Washington was kind of playing, cover two against him and kind of leaning towards the other side. He was blowing past the safety. I mean, this guy on any given play can take it to the house and can burn your corner. And, he is the most scary person to game plan against. And he was the best player in the NFL from the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, just sorting the receivers on PFF by overall grade. He's the number one graded PFF receiver, 93.4 PFF grade. And it seems like he is every single year. He's just that guy. If you really want to talk about like most valuable player or just offensive player, it's got to be Tyreek Hill. He's just a cheat code. He's Usain Bolt and Justin Jefferson's body. It's not really fair. He's honestly one of the more overpowered just players and the NFL's ever seen in general. And I don't think it's talked about as much as it should be. He truly is as much of a game changer as it gets, and he can take the top off of any defense, even if they fully game plan around him. He's a true game changer. Fun that you talked about him. I did want to go in a different direction. I do want to shout out Christian McCaffrey for the 49ers who are playing in the Super Bowl next week. I just love the impact that he has for that team. He just does so much for them. He's like the best receiving back I've ever seen. So natural and smooth, and he's just a complete spark for them. You saw it in the last 2 playoff games when they were down and they needed it in that second half. They just fed McCaffrey, and he came through, and he usually does come through in the clutch because he's one of the better running backs we've seen in a long, long time. And just overall, I mean, he gets you a first down every time he touches the ball. It feels like he gets you a touchdown or two every game. He's just a consistent, reliable guy, and I wanted to shout him out before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and if we're talking about the best runner and the best receiver all mixed into one person, and just probably, just a football. I mean, when you think of Christian McCaffrey, he's just a football dude. He comes from a football family. Dad played for the Broncos. Younger brother who's going to the NFL draft this year, who Danny loves, Luke McCaffrey. NFL secret fans, watch out for him. Danny's going to be talking a lot about him this offseason. It's going to be exciting. But yeah, I mean, Christian McCaffrey is Christian McCaffrey. He's a different kind of guy. He's the best running back in the NFL. He is a blue chip player, and he's going to score. He's going to score in every game and maybe multiple times in a game. You cannot stop Christian McCaffrey. He is the most lethal weapon on the ground and through the air combined. Yeah, he's just I love you going in this direction. You almost have to because just the player Christian McCaffrey is, and ever since he's joined San Francisco, he's just become, Superman.
Yeah, such an impact, so valuable. 1,459 rushing yards, 14 rushing touchdowns, 5.4 yards per rushing attempt. He had 7 touchdowns through the air, so 21 total touchdowns, 564 receiving yards, and 67 catches. Just a do it all. Swift Army knife, jack of all trades player. He's just awesome. He's that guy, one of the best running backs we've really ever seen. So wanted to shout him out and with that, let's hear your defensive player of the year.
Yeah, my defensive player of the year, I'm gonna go with the hardest position in sports, like you did for your defensive rookie of the year. It's Mr. Deron Bland. What he was able to do this year was nothing short of spectacular. 9 interceptions, and 5 of those interceptions returned for touchdowns, while also having 14 passes defended. He stepped in for Trevon Diggs and outplayed what Trevon Diggs has ever done. And Trevon Diggs has been an all-pro corner. So I mean, his impact in turning over the ball, making big time play, making big splash plays, and just completely changing the dynamic and the outlook of a game by scoring on defense. You can't say enough good things about this guy. And he did it at the hardest position, and he did it at an elite level. And yeah, I mean, five five pick sixes is worthy of an award for me.
Yeah, and I mean the big kind of I mean this is a little bit controversy, and I feel like the reason this is a little bit controversial because he allows a lot of yards, and I feel like he gets a lot of hate because of the yardage he allows. It's kind of like the Trayvon Diggs conversation, and he's allowed 1,020 yards, but you go to Sauce Gardner, he's allowed 1,049, and you look at like their PFF coverage grade. Deron Bland's actually the third highest graded player on PFF for coverage grade, and it's right behind Jalen Johnson and Sauce Gardner. So he's up there with like just being a good cover corner. He has allowed a few blow up games to crazy receivers like DK Metcalf, but other than that, I feel like Deron Bland has been a pretty kind of just underrated corner, a little bit overhated as a cover player because of the yardage allowed. He's allowed, yes, less yards than Sauce. So I mean, pretty impressive, and yeah, I think he's a little bit underrated at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and he even had an 86.5 run defensive grade, which is really good from a corner. From a corner that is rangy, that is, shut you down at the back end of the field, and then being able to come up and stop the run. I mean, one of the most valuable corners in the NFL, and a defensive player that can create turnovers at a rate that he does cannot be undervalued.
Yeah, it's very valuable. It's just like the Trayvon Diggs factory stepped right in for him and had the same impact. It's like a video game glitch. Every time he catches the ball, it seems like he's destined to score a touchdown. He's very electric, and it's kind of hard to put a value on those pick sixes and those touchdowns that he can flip the game at any given time. So love you picking Deron Bland. Anything else you want to say on this one?
So every time Deron Bland's on the field, I mean, the fact that he could make a turnover or a touchdown is just a true elite level of a difference maker. And he did that at an extremely high level this year. And in my opinion, there's no one better. There's no one more deserving. And like I said with Devon Witherspoon, this is a hard award to win as a defensive back. And so I think Deron Bland played an elite level and is just very deserving.
Yeah, he plays a very, very, very hard position. You can't blame that one at all. I like that pick, but I'll go to my pick, who I think was the best defensive player of the year. And I do think it was TJ Watt. I think he finally deserves to win the award, to get the crown. The most sacks in the NFL at 20. 4 forced fumbles. He just feels like he comes away with a forced fumble when the Steelers need it the most, when they're down at the end of games. He always comes through. And I do think he was the most impactful defensive player in the NFL this year. He's usually an edge rusher that wins it. I do think he's going to win it. I feel like Max Crosby has a shout, because if you're just talking like most valuable player, like defensive player, I think Max Crosby is really, really, really close to Watt, the way that he impacts that Raiders defense and kind of does it all by himself on that Raiders defense. I do want to give Max Crosby a shout out, but TJ Watt's just a stud. He's kind of been here for a while and hasn't won the award yet, so I do want to give it to him. He's very deserving of winning a Defensive Player of the Year. Just a legend for the Steelers.
He didn't win it. Wait, didn't he break the sack record last year?
Yeah, he didn't win it.
Wait, who won it? Why am
I think
I?
it was Micah Parsons, right?
Damn, that's crazy. Oh yeah, I'll look that up. I mean,
That's,
you break the sack record and you don't win the award. That's highway robbery. That's crazy.
yeah, I remember it being like a big controversy.
Yeah,
That's
let's
yeah, it was Myles Garrett.
or wait, wait. That
Oh
was
wait,
Nick
yeah, it was
Bosa.
Bosa.
What were Bosa's stats last year? How the hell did he beat it over TJ Watt? That's wild. Wow, yeah. So TJ Watt, absolute robbery. Um, doing what he did and almost what did he have? 19 sacks this year?
20.
Bro. Yeah, TJ Watt is a different man. Let's just say that. This guy is he's built from a different factory. He is not human. The Watt brothers, I don't know. I'd probably give the title of the best brothers to the Watts instead of the Bosas because I mean these brothers are different, man. I mean, and it's just year after year after year, consistency, elite level sacks, production, you name it. And yeah, TJ Watt definitely probably if you're looking at a guy year in year out, TJ Watt's the biggest difference maker in the NFL. Not to say there's a lot of really good guys. Obviously, Nick Bosa, Mike Parsons, Myles Garrett, but yeah, TJ Watt he's just built from a different built from a different breed, man. He's not human, and the production what he's able to do on a year in year out basis is unmatched.
Yeah, 91.9 PFF grade. And yeah, like we were both just flabbergasted that he didn't win it last year, breaking the record. Nick Bosa is very deserving, but yeah, TJ Watt deserves this award. He's kind of, he's that JJ Watt type of player. He's a transcendent defensive player. He's a Hall of Famer. So yeah, really deserving. Anything else you want to say in this one before you go to our MVP?
Oh, wait, sorry, clarity. 2021, he had 22 and a half sacks, broke the record. Last year, he got hurt in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. It's ever since 2020, our years are messed up.
That's, yeah, very true.
Yes, yeah, where he had, yeah, I mean, absolutely ridiculous from TGY. He's gonna hit 100 career sacks next year, which is just incredible achievement. But yeah, let's get on to the final award. Are you ready? Right,
All right, let's hear your MVP for
Mr.
2024.
G, you've been waiting for it. It's CJ Stroud is my most valuable player of the year. CJ Stroud, when he touched the field, was different, man. He was the best quarterback on the field this year. I don't think there's really any doubting it. He was a rookie, and he was by far the coolest, the calmest, the most big elite level throws at a consistent basis. I mean, and if he didn't miss, I mean, see, this is CJ Stroud's stats. Well, missing what was it, 3 or 4 games? I can't remember. I think it's wait, how many?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, I think it was 3, but 4,100 yards, 23 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Just incredible stuff, man, from a rookie. I mean, hitting 4,000 yards while missing games, 23 touchdowns while taking care of the ball with only 5 interceptions. Just elite level play of quarterback. And there was no player, in my opinion, that, you know, rose his team and elevated his team more than CJ Stroud. He did it with injuries all year long. Tank Dell goes down. Noah Brown was in and out. Nico Collins missed a couple of games. Robert Woods was hurt off and on. Dalton Schultz got injured. I mean, he did this, and honestly, not great running back play. I wouldn't say Devin Singletary or Damian Pierce or anything to write home about, but he did this at an elite level with a young team, a rookie head coach, and it was incredible, man. I think he's more deserving than Patrick Mahomes. I think he's more deserving than Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott. I think this was the true best player in the NFL this year.
Yeah, so we'll have some nuance with this. We fully acknowledge that Lamar Jackson's going to win the MVP. He is the 2024 NFL MVP 100%. And we just want to acknowledge CJ Stroud because he is the best player in the NFL. He was the best player in the NFL in 2024, and he's not going to get those flowers. He's not going to get the most valuable player flowers, but he was by far the most valuable player when you take into consideration the team around him. That Ravens team was one of the better rosters we've really seen of the decade. It's going to go down as one of them. So what he did with this rookie field Texans roster, rookie coach, rookie offensive coordinator, and CJ Stroud's demeanor and just his aura. He just exudes confidence, and he's just that guy. He really is. I would pretty confident saying that he was the most valuable player. Like you said, he missed a few games. He missed more games than Lamar Jackson. And I mean, if you go over the stats, CJ Stroud threw for 4,108 yards. Lamar threw for 3,678. Lamar threw for 24 touchdowns and 7 picks, and CJ threw for 23 and 5, in less games. So, I mean, CJ did have the better stats. He played a safer brand of football, if you want to say that. He was just straight up the better passer of the football. He's, one of the more talented arms that we've seen. Just one of the more beautiful arms, I would say. Like it's not even just the strongest arm. It's just the way that he places the ball and just the way that he floats the ball up and just makes perfectly accurate throws. He's something like we've never really seen before. We could sit here and just blabber about CJ all day long because he's really that guy. I really am confident saying that he was the best player in football this year as a rookie. He was the most valuable player as a rookie, and I mean it really shouldn't be that controversial if you just take into consideration the team around him and how he elevated. And this award is most valuable player, and I really do think if the Texans didn't have CJ Stroud, if it was Davis Mills in there, I don't know if they win a game. So I'm going to say CJ Stroud is the most valuable player in the NFL in 2024, and I like that we both agree with it.
Yeah, I really don't think you can argue it. When you think back to Patrick Mahomes this season, when you think back to Lamar Jackson, when you think back to Dak Prescott, all elite players, which no disrespect to any of them. But when I watched CJ Stroud, there was just a clear difference this year. And a guy and he's a rookie too. Obviously we could have just done the easy thing, given him rookie of the year, which he will win, in my opinion, over Puka Nacua. But I want him. I mean, I want MVP. I want most valuable player over the entire NFL, not just rookies, because he played at that elite tier of a level, and his big time throw percentage was just incredible. I mean, what he was able to do and how he was able to push the ball down the field and his accuracy and touch was top notch. It was beautiful. And it was elegant and beautiful to see him, and it was a masterpiece of what he was able to put together. And like I said, he did it at a consistent basis with players in and out of the lineup. And he got a Texans team to 10 wins his rookie season, and he also got a playoff win in his rookie season, which is just so unbelievably hard against Kevin Stefanski and the Browns. It was a tough football team with really good players on defense. And so yeah, CJ Stroud just elevated his team more than anyone, in my opinion, in the whole NFL.
Yeah, he got the improbable playoff win against like the best defense in the NFL in his first career playoff game. And then he goes and plays the other best defense in the NFL in his second career playoff game. And they were close at halftime. And then the Ravens, their roster is just better and they pulled away in that second half. And to go back to that Lamar versus CJ Stroud argument, because it is Lamar that's going to be the MVP. I didn't even say the rushing stats before because I assumed Lamar was just, killing him in it. But Lamar ran for 421 yards and ran for 5 touchdowns. CJ Stroud ran for 3 touchdowns. That's only 2 less than Lamar Jackson and still 147 yards. He's still effective on the ground. He played less games, I'll have you know. So, I mean, yeah, I just think CJ Stroud is by far the most valuable player in the NFL as a rookie. We're not trying to be bold or out there by saying it. I think when you just watch football and you watch these guys, I think you kind of just see it. He pops. He really does.
Yeah, I mean, this Texans team is very, very fortunate to have CJ Stroud at quarterback, and he's going to be their quarterback for a long time. And I think this is a guy that will ultimately win MVPs and Super Bowls. It's just a matter of time, but we're gonna give him his crown before anyone else because he's well deserving in his first year of the NFL.
Yeah, congrats, Texans fans. You guys knocked this draft out of the freaking park. Will Anderson was very deserving of a Rookie of the Year shout. Just a beautiful, beautiful stuff for you guys' future. But I guess we kind of do want to do a little bit of an honorable mention. The best play of the year. We both ironically said Jack Jones from the Raiders play. I had that pick where he jumped up and grabbed it with one hand against the Chargers to make it like 63-20. And Yeah, he ran in on that one, and then I think you had a Jack Jones pick on Christmas against Mahomes too.
Yeah, and he ultimately posted the Grinch as his face with him running back a touchdown against the Chiefs, knocking off the Chiefs on Christmas, and he was the Grinch, man. And what a resurgence he had. And yeah, he definitely had some incredible plays at the end of the year when he went back with his former coach Antonio Pierce and went to Vegas. It was a resurgence, and it was cool to see. And yeah, some of the most electric plays, two of the most electric plays of the year go to Jack Jones. And it's funny that we both picked him.
Yeah, I feel like off the top of your head, there's not like a crazy, crazy catch or like I remember last year Justin Jefferson's catch against the Bills or the Odell catch. There's not really like that one offensive play that really sticks out to you. I'm still really trying to think here. You could think of like C.J. Stroud just hucking it up to Nico Collins against the Browns. I don't know. There's a few fun moments. Amari Cooper's legendary performance against the Texans. Yeah, there's a lot of fun moments this season for sure. Anything else you want to think of?
No, but what a year of football, man. And, you know, um, I'm going to call it the big game on our podcast because everyone else is calling it the big game. But the big game was coming up, and it should definitely be an exciting one. And we're on the road to 100 episodes. We're getting to 1,000 subscribers. So everyone just keep liking, commenting. Tell us what we can do better. Just interact with us. We're having fun. We do this for free. And we love to do it, and we're gonna continue to do it. So, share some love with us, share some love in the chat with us, and and give us comments and react with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for supporting. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned to the NFL Seekers podcast. We're gonna have our Super Bowl predictions here just out in a few days, and we're gonna go really in depth, kind of break down like the Chiefs offense versus the Niners defense, Niners offense versus the Chiefs defense, and really break down that game, give you guys all the betting plays and such. So yeah, really exciting. Stay tuned to the NFL Seekers podcast. Anything else you want to say?
There's a lot of exciting content coming up. So subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We're getting into free agency in less than a month, the NFL Combine, the draft in a little over 2 months, man. So just a lot of awesome stuff coming up. So, we love you, and just continue to support.
Yep. Stay tuned to the NFL Seekers podcast. Draft content coming out soon. Peace.
Peace.